Good morning, everybody. Let me get my phone out so I can get the time right as I'm speaking. As Lawrence said, my name is Zak Zapletal, Seminarian for the Diocese of Dallas. So just kind of a, general overview of my time in seminary, which I'll speak more about in detail. But I joined seminary in 2018 after graduating from high school. And I've been in seminary for 7 years now. This is my 7th year, and I have 2 more years to go to where I'll be ordained a priest in 2027. So it's been an amazing experience, but I, of course, want to give much more background detail as to why I'm pursuing the priesthood, why I feel that God is calling me to the priesthood, but happy to be here with all of you to share about that. First, I just want to give a little bit of just kind of background information on my family and kind of the family that I've grown up in. So both my parents are from Ennis, Texas, which, if you know, is about an hour south here of Dallas, and they went to St. John Nepomucene for grade school and high school, and so they met there in high school. And then after going to high school, they went to Texas A&M for college. And then after graduating from A&M, they then went to move to Dallas and got married, and they've been in Dallas ever since. So all of my siblings, we've grown up in Dallas our whole lives, and we have plenty of family around the area, which is nice. So I have an older sister and a younger sister. My older sister is 28. She is a doctor right now in Oklahoma City. She's married. Her husband is in the Navy, and so her husband is up there as well. And then I'm 24, and this might make you feel a little old, but I was born in 2000, which can seem a little bit weird, but yeah, so I'm 24 years old, and then my younger sister is a senior in high school at Bishop Lynch, so she's 17, and so it's kind of funny. My sister is going to Texas A&M in the fall, and she wants to study law and be a lawyer. So we joke around in my family, we'll have a doctor, a priest, and a lawyer, which kind of sounds like a punchline, a little bit of a joke. But yeah, I just have great siblings and a great family, so I'm very grateful for the family I've been able to have. And when it just comes to kind of the faith life of my family, we're all Catholic, and the faith has been something I've grown up with my whole life. We were always very good about going to Mass on Sunday, every Sunday, whether there was a sports tournament that we had going on or vacation, any kind of event. It was always a priority. We're going to go to Mass on Sunday. And St. Thomas Aquinas was the home parish that we grew up going to. And so that was very important for us to do. Then we would pray grace before meals, even at restaurants, stuff like that too. But honestly, besides that, there wasn't too much more that we did. We weren't an extremely devout family, but I would say we were just kind of a standard, typical family in the pews that went to Mass on Sundays. But in addition to that, Catholic school was very important part of my upbringing. Both my siblings went to Catholic school. I went to Catholic school my whole life as well. And I think part of that, in addition to my family upbringing, helped me have just strong morals in my life, be able to know right and wrong. My parents be able to teach me about how to best live out my life as a Catholic. And so just kind of, again, more depth about my time in Catholic school. So I went to St. Thomas Aquinas here in East Dallas from preschool all the way through 8th grade, and graduated in 2014. And then after that, I went to Bishop Lynch High School and graduated in 2018. And I'm extremely grateful for my time in Catholic school and just being able to go to Mass, go to confession, be able to learn about my faith in all the religion and theology classes, just all the friends that I've been able to make during my time there that I still keep in touch with. Really formative experience for me. And even though I don't necessarily think that it was explicitly led to my vocation to the priesthood, I think it really set the foundation for me to be open to a call to the priesthood about just kind of the Catholic faith was normal to me. And I was around priests throughout my life by going to Catholic school. And so I think having that experience made me open to listening to the call of the priesthood. Just in terms of interests that I was I had growing up. As a kid, sports was the biggest thing that I was into growing up, and I played all kinds of sports like basketball, football, baseball, and soccer. Those were kind of the main ones. And so I played those growing up, and then also in the DPL for St. Thomas, and then some for Bishop Lynch. I won a few DPL championships at St. Thomas, which is great. And then when I came to Bishop Lynch, I played 2 years of football, freshman, sophomore year, and then 4 years of baseball while I was there. Other things as well, academics was an important part of my family upbringing. Our parents wanted us to get good grades and do well in school. And so both of my siblings are very smart people, and so it was always kind of a competition between us about who could get the best grades and who could work hard in school. So I was never one of the top students, but I was smart and worked hard in my classes, so I got good grades because of that. And then also just family, again, was a very important part of my time growing up, about just spending time with my family and being with them when I could. And also just friends, being able to spend time with them, usually through sports or anything else at school. My friends that I still keep in touch with are really important in my life. One thing that when it comes to when I was thinking about what I wanted to do growing up, I really wasn't thinking about the priesthood for really most of my life. It wasn't until my senior years when I started thinking about priesthood, but up until then, what I wanted to do was sports journalism, was what I was interested in, because like I said, sports was what I was most passionate about. And since I'm 5'6", I didn't think going to the NFL or playing in the NBA was much of an option. And so because of that, I thought, wouldn't it be great to talk about sports on TV all the time? Wouldn't that be the best job? And so sports journalism was what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to Texas A&M because that's where all my family went to. And so that was kind of my plan, what I thought of for most of my life. I thought I'd go there, I'd get a girlfriend, get married, have a family, and just kind of live a normal life like that. The faith would still be part of my life, but I never thought about priesthood as a possible option. But one thing that I think kind of reoriented my faith when I was in high school, that kind of, looking back on it, made me more open to a possible vocation, was so like I said, my freshman, sophomore year, I played football and baseball, but I stopped football after my second year to focus on baseball because I thought I was better in baseball. But my last 2 years of baseball, I got injured and I was kind of hurt for those 2 years. And so I hurt my shoulder, had to get surgery eventually, and just wasn't the same after the surgery. And so because of that, it was honestly a very devastating, very difficult time for me going through that, because sports was so important for me. And so because of that, I really had to just trust in God in those moments, about trusting that this isn't what I'm wanting to happen in my life, but I'm open to what God is kind of guiding me through right now. And so just being trusting in Him and faithful in those moments. And so I wasn't thinking about this in the moment, but kind of looking back on it, I think that strengthening of my faith through that suffering made me open to listening to God's call to the priesthood. But like I said, again, it wasn't until my senior year where I started thinking about the priesthood. And I can't think of one specific moment where I thought about the priesthood. Like looking back on it, I can't remember that. But it was just sometime in my fall semester of my senior year is when I first started thinking about it. I already applied to A&M, was accepted. All I had to do was put down the housing deposit to be able to fully accept it. But just during that fall semester, there were kind of two desires on my heart at the moment. One is I wanted to grow in my faith. I wanted to kind of take personal responsibility for it. It wasn't just something that my parents were giving to me. I wanted to take it and make it my own. And then also I wanted to just grow in service towards other people. I was always the nicest kid in school. I always did what was right. Parents always liked me because I was a good kid. But I wanted to be more than that. I wanted to really be a man for others and have a positive impact in people's lives. And so because of that, the priesthood seemed like a great option to pursue both of those desires, about, of course, growing in my faith, but at the same time, really serving other people and having a positive impact in people's lives when just seeing how important the spiritual life is. And so because of that fall semester is when I really started thinking and praying about whether the priesthood was a possible option. I know a lot of times when guys think about seminary, they want to run away from it as soon as possible, but I'm a very obedient person, and I do what I'm told. And so if I thought, if this is what God wants me to do, I should be open to it, and I should be willing to follow it. But again, I wasn't really talking to other people about it. I wanted to take time to really think about it myself, since it was kind of a new thing for me to think about. And so a lot of that fall semester was just praying and kind of reflecting on, is this something I could see myself doing? Could I live the life of a priest? Would I be successful and enjoy living that life? And as I just went through that semester, I felt more comfortable with the idea and more confident that this is something God might actually want me to consider. And so I continued to take it seriously. At that point then, though, I had to talk to other people about it. And so I remember talking to my family, revealing to them the first time that I was actually thinking about the priesthood. And it was at a family dinner. I was talking to them, and I told them I'm thinking about the priesthood. And my older sister, she responded, "Are you joking?" She didn't believe me, because, again, it was just such a surprise, and they were just unexpected by it. But even though they were not expecting it, they've been completely supportive the whole way through, which has been such a blessing. And they've been saying, if this is what God wants you to do, then we're happy and willing to support you the whole way through. So again, even though it was a little surprising for them and even surprising for me, they were very open to it. And then, of course, I had to talk to my friends as well to be able to share with them that this is something I was considering. And it was the same thing about, this isn't what we are expecting for you, but we think that you would be very good with this and you'd do a good job with it. And so we're very happy to support you as well. So just having family and friends that were there for me was very meaningful. And then lastly, of course, I had to talk to the vocation director to be able to join seminary. I honestly didn't know too much about the seminary process, what it took to become a priest. I just thought God wants me to become a priest, so I better figure it out. So Father Edwin was the vocation director at the time. So I met with him here at St. Monica, because he was living at St. Monica at the time. And so I had a few meetings with him to be able to talk about the seminary process and what it all took to become a priest, even to discern whether this was my calling. And actually, looking back on it, there was one meeting we were supposed to have at Original Pancake House, which is pretty close by, and I slept past my alarm and skipped the meeting on him. So I still feel bad about that to this day. But he was merciful and continued to meet with me. But yeah, after just meeting with him, it was good to learn more about the seminary process and just know what it took to become a priest. And so I felt much more confident and, again, more comfortable with learning about everything of that realm. And eventually, I went to go visit the seminary, Holy Trinity, here in Dallas. I went to go visit there for a weekend to just go see what seminary life was like, to meet the other seminarians, to sit in for a few classes at University of Dallas. And I just felt comfortable in that environment, felt like the guys were really great guys, just loved the peaceful, prayerful environment as well. And I just thought I could be successful here. I could see myself thriving here. And so that was really meaningful for me also. Of course, once it came to the end of my senior year, I realized I have to be able to make a decision at this point. And one thing that my parents were telling me, again, they were super supportive, but one thing they were telling me is that since this is kind of a quick discernment, quick decision, maybe you should go to college first and try that out. And if that doesn't work out, then maybe you can go into seminary and pursue that path. And so that was something I was definitely open to, but as I was sharing this with Father Edwin and talking to him about it, he shared some advice that I'm still very grateful for today. He was saying that if college and seminary are both on your heart at the moment, give God the first choice, give him the first option. And if that doesn't work out, then you can go to college and continue on, and you at least know that you gave God your best shot, and he'll guide you down the right path, whichever way he leads you. And just hearing that from him was really impactful and really kind of stuck with me. And so, again, I felt comfortable with the idea of seminary, felt confident after hearing that from him that this was the next step that God was calling me to take. And so at the end of my senior year from Bishop Lynch in 2018, I graduated, and then I decided to join seminary after that. At that time, I wasn't for sure that God was calling me to become a priest, because most guys at that point aren't for sure. But I at least knew that seminary was the next step for me to take. And then from there, I went to Holy Trinity Seminary, which is, again, here in Dallas. I was there for 4 years from 2018 to 2022, which was such a great experience. I was very moved by the seminary formation there, as well as the classes at University of Dallas, which was just such a great school. So really meaningful time there. And then once I was done at Holy Trinity, I then moved on to Notre Dame Seminary, which is in New Orleans, Louisiana. So I was there for the past 2 years getting so my time at Holy Trinity, we get a undergraduate degree in philosophy. So that's what I got at Holy Trinity. But now at Notre Dame, I essentially get a master's degree in theology, so that's what I'm working on now. But as Lawrence said, I'm on my pastoral year here at Christ the King here in Dallas for this year. And so pastoral year, you might not know too much about it, is basically a year for a seminarian. Instead of being in seminary at school, taking classes for a whole year, he's just at a parish doing full-time ministry in preparation for the priesthood. And so I've been at Christ the King since September, and I'll be there until May, so about 2 more months. And it's been such a fantastic and fabulous experience. I'm so grateful for it. All the people that I've been able to meet, all the ministry I've been able to do, it's been very meaningful for me as I'm preparing for the priesthood. It makes me very excited for the priesthood. So once I'm done at Christ the King, I'll then go back to Notre Dame for about a year and a half more of school, and I'll graduate in December of 2026 with my master's degree in theology, graduate degree, and then I'll be ordained a deacon at that time in December of 2026. And then from there, I'll spend 6 months at a parish, and kind of like a pastoral year, but this is now as a deacon, to where I'll be able to do a ministry as a deacon at a parish for that time, again, to further prepare us for the priesthood. So I'll do that for 6 months, and then I'll be ordained a priest in June of 2027, which is only 2 years from now, which is, again, crazy to think about, because for me, seminary has been a 9-year process, and being in my 7th year now with 2 years left, it's crazy to think about, but it's just been such an amazing experience being in seminary, and it's been transformational in honestly so many ways I can't begin to describe it all, but it's made me a better man, it's made me a better disciple of the Lord, and just makes me very excited for serving the people one day as a priest. And so, again, that excitement just continues to build as ordination gets closer. So it's just something that I'm really looking forward to. And so just want to say thank you to the Sarans for all of your support to us seminarians. It's very helpful as we go through seminary to know that there are people praying for us and supporting us the whole way through. So just thank you for being here today and letting me be able to share my story. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? How many are in your class that you most likely would be getting ordained with? Do you know?
For Dallas?
Yeah.
Yes. So right now we have 6 men in our class that are going to be ordained in 2027. We might have one more join us to where we might have about 7 or so, but right now there's for certain 6, which is a high number for people to be ordained in 1 year. So we're all very close. We're all actually on pastoral year here in the diocese this year, and so it's been great being able to all do ministry throughout the diocese. Yeah. And we all go to Notre Dame Seminary as well together, so we're all very close. Yeah.
You ever played basketball at EK?
I have, played a lot of basketball at the EK. There's debate on who's better at basketball between him and me, but yeah, we like to play a lot, yeah. And we play sports at the seminary all the time, which is great. We play basketball, play football, soccer, all that kind of stuff, which is what I love to do, so it's awesome, yeah. Yes?
You mentioned that you internalized your desire to become a priest, but were there any outside influences that touched your heart?
In terms of other priests maybe that inspired me?
Or lay people or anybody?
Yeah, honestly, there were no situations where someone came up to me and said, you would make a good priest, or have you ever considered priesthood? Not that I was a bad candidate, but no one really kind of offered that to me. At least that's what I like to think. But then as well, I was around priests most of my life, and there were definitely good priests I was able to learn from, but there wasn't, I would say, one specific priest that I was thinking I want to be like him and I want to follow his example. So it was a lot of just kind of personal invitation from God and being willing to answer to that. I think Other priests definitely inspired me along the way, but it wasn't super explicit within my discernment. Yes.
You speak very well. Are you sure you don't want to be a politician?
Well, some people have told me that once I'm a priest, I can do a sports talk show on the side and be able to do both of them as long as it doesn't get in the way of ministry. So we'll see if I can do both. Yes. But thank you.
You won't have time to do that.
Yes.
To work
Yeah.
together with that priest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any more questions? That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Yeah.